Hi, it's Emma from Centered Within, and I want to talk to you today about energy. Now, I understand energy very, very well. I read energy very, very well, but I also need help because I can't understand all elements of it. I tend to read the messages that are hanging around the energy that are around us, but there's everything is energy. But when there's planetary lineups, certain constellations, if that's correct, because I'm not an astrologer, full moons, eclipses, all those things, they have a huge impact as well. So when you are feeling something beyond that you recognize, so you may be going through something, but there's something else as well, but you don't understand, or why you're reacting the way you're reacting, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go and research or look into varying different astrologers, ones that you resonate with. I use Pam Gregory, she's UK based, and Tiani, she's Australian. Now, Tiani, her Instagram name is Tiani Talks. Pam Gregory, I go onto YouTube. Tiani is Facebook and Instagram. I get her emails. So just sign up to that because that's really good because you get an email straight into your inbox. And she does a Monday musing. Pam Gregory does a video twice a month. And they're both brilliant because it explains what's going on and how we can potentially be affected by it. Now, obviously, it does depend on your sun, moon, and rise and all that sort of stuff. I don't even 100% know mine half the time. But I look into things because it helps and supports me. Now, you could be going through a really difficult time. You could have lost a job, a relationship. Someone could have passed over. There can be all the things. But when these are coming in as well, it does have a huge impact. So when you look and get information and understand that, that is a support to you. It helps a huge amount because you may be wondering why you arguing more, why are you feeling really snippy, why all you want to do is just go to sleep and just sleep and sleep even more and sleep even more, and then you wake up and you want to sleep some more. Why do you have no energy? So when you feel like this, going to someone, and doesn't mean you have to necessarily work with them either. People have so much free work available to you. Because there's lots of people having lots to say about people charging. And yes, some people do charge a huge amount of money. They do. But there is also other layers of working with them as well. You can do group work. Sometimes people do group support work. And all those different things. You don't have to work one-on-one with someone, but if you do, some people do charge a significant amount. And there's many reasons why they do. But there seems to be this undercurrent what's the word I'm looking for? Like people getting really triggered by it. Now, some coaches do. I mean, my work's not free. I charge for one-on-one work. I don't do a huge amount of one-on-one work. But when I do, yes, I do charge. And there is a fee. And that's because you get to work with me one-on-one. You can do an hourly call, 2-3 days, 3 weeks. The most I do at the moment is a month. But this is not the reason for that. Because a post came up today, there's this man I follow and I've forgotten his name, and it's the second time I've forgotten his name because the first video disappeared. Anyway, so he goes on to talk about how to promote yourself online on a social, platform, how to promote yourself, how to be an entrepreneur and all those sort of things as well. So he guides you. And it's interesting, a couple of times I've noticed on his posts, he's saying, well, thank you very much, but I don't offer my services for free. So people are obviously asking him lots of questions, trying to glean information. He gives a lot of information. These people give a lot of information. You just got to be there to read it, to absorb it, to take it in. But if you really want to go further, go deeper, and get a greater knowledge, you're going to have to work with them one-on-one or join a group, whatever it might be. But he put on a post today saying, don't work for free, secretly wanting to get paid. And I was like, oh my God. And this is why so many people are getting annoyed at other people for charging so much. And yes, there are people that do charge excessive amounts. But again, there's all different layers. But there are some people say, if you pay me this, I will do this for you. Be very wary of when people can remove things from you, do things from you, do this for you. Just, no one can take a chunk of this from you and everything's going to be fine. It doesn't work like that. Energy doesn't work like that. It cannot work like that. Yes, things can be moved and like the energy can change and mutate, but there is still something attached to that energy and that can come back. It's quite an in-depth thing to talk about, but I think because there's a lot of change in the spiritual world. I call it the spiritual. I hate calling it the spiritual world. I don't know why I call it the spiritual world, but I don't know what other thing to call it. There's a lot going on. There's so much available as well. And there's loads of coaches, healers, all the things wrapped up. People call themselves a lot of things. I call myself an intuitive healer because that's all I suppose that's what I'm qualified as, an intuitive healer and life purpose activator. So I call myself an intuitive healer. I read messages. Energy is around, and in that energy, there's a message sitting there waiting for you. So I work with a person that's waiting to hear those messages, ready to hear those messages. Because they have to be ready to hear those messages, because some of those messages are very in-depth. And it's not like a blurb of like, oh, these are all the messages. There's layers that are attached to it, and there's work that needs to be done around it. Or maybe we just need to hear the message. It's a bit like a psychic reading, but very different. Very, very different. Because that's how I started. I started doing psychic readings, but realised I wasn't reading the cards or looking at the cards, and so that's how it progressed. But when you are feeling the way that you're feeling, it is good to have people that you tune into to get information from, like I do. I have a mentor who I pay one-on-one work. That's my one-on-one work. Then astrologically, I follow these two people and get the information from them. For business, and is my mentor as well. But also there are two other people, Ty Lopez, who I do group work with, and Katrina Ruth, who I've done group work with as well. And there's other people that I work with. I've Melanie Ann Leah and Amanda Francis to do with energy, money, emotions, entrepreneurship, female, energy, all those sort of things as well. So some people it's only the free work I use, some paid, some one-on-one. You know, like for instance, Melanie Ann Leah, I think to work with her for 3 months, it's $33,000. I'm not at that stage yet. I may never go to work with her one-on-one like that. But her master classes and other groups I've done, fantastic. And that's all I need with her at this moment in time. My mentor I've been working with is coming up to 3 years. It first of all started a group work, and now it's one-on-one work. Tiani, I am actually going to, at some point, definitely work with her one-on-one because I just love her work. And unfortunately, Pam Gregory doesn't do any one-on-one work or a group work. So yeah, you can pick and choose, but you need more than one person. You can't just get it all from one person. You need more than one. And sometimes you'll follow someone more than others. Sometimes it will be a set person. So just sort of feel into it. Just gauge it. Gauge what it feels like for you. And this really helps. Obviously, working with someone one-on-one, definitely, it's a support that we all need from time to time, sometimes more than others. But also there's other elements available as well. So when you're going through what you're going through, but there's an element you don't really understand why you are acting the way you are, you feel like you're going backwards, when you tune into other people, it really gives you a support. And there will be lots of people saying lots of things, but just tune in what feels right for you. I'm seeing loads of things on TikTok at the moment. I was on TikTok, I came off it. But I go on it and watch it from time to time. And there's so many people that are struggling because there's just so many people saying a lot of things, not very nice things. And I was watching this particular woman and I was just like, yes, she said something, but she said something because she's just been hounded, I think, for some time by people saying certain things. And then other people then had a go at her for saying what she said. She didn't realise what she said, but you can see she's so downbeaten. But she's still doing the thing. She obviously hasn't had the courage to leave or doesn't want to leave, the platform. You have to discern, you have to tune in what is right for you, who is right for you, and just tune into that. You may find you start following one person, but actually then they start talking about someone else and then you follow that person. That's how I followed so many other people that I followed. Listen to what feels right. They may say something you don't agree with, but then that's okay as well. You don't have to agree with everything they say. It's actually important if you don't, because you're trusting yourself over them. You think, doesn't sit right with me. But then that's okay. I'll say stuff, it's like, doesn't really sit, but then that's okay. You may stop listening to someone for a while, you might stop following someone for a while, and that is okay. Then you might come back. And that is okay. So start tuning in to having a collective handful of people that you go to when you're not too sure, when you go to when you need some extra support, when you go to because you read their blog, you think, that's it. When you go to because you're not too sure about these energies, you're just getting really bad headaches, you want to sleep, you think, oh, okay, it's a solar eclipse and it's this particular one and it's doing this. That makes sense. Or, I follow a nutritionist and herbalist. The amount of information and what I've changed in my diet just by following them. Organic Olivia, brilliant. She's in America. She's absolutely brilliant. I did used to buy stuff from her, but she's in America and the charges in the UK and America has just gone ridiculous at the moment. But she has a wealth of information. What I've learned from her, brilliant. So start feeling into these people. Start choosing what looks good for you. Start feeling what looks good for you. And you'll build up this library of information. It'll be so brilliant. I've learned so much. And then you may want to work with them one-on-one or do a group first. So much out there for you. Sending you so much love.